Of the crime spree, right behind me.
Vice Mayor Strange, you'll address her properly.
You can kiss my foot.
Mr. Rickard, you're out of order.
FBI, we are asking you to investigate this council. Please look into this council, how they award contracts, the bid process, how they use their positions to benefit their friends and themselves, how they use their positions to attack residents and critics and neighbors and business competition. FBI, will you please look into this?
And I welcome the FBI here. If you notice, Mr. Thompson with his plea for the FBI and his watchdog group, this city runs the cleanest in this whole county. I guarantee
He was served a federal subpoena this morning.
We did receive a subpoena this morning, and we're going to cooperate 100% with the subpoena.
And most of you who were involved up here, you gaslighted me. You tried to say I was crazy. And now we know that that's not true. And there's a lot of other issues I've been asking about as well.
So I did not plan to do a show tonight, but there's just a few things that I need to tell you and I need to show you. I went to the city council meeting tonight, the Panama City Beach City Council meeting, and man, it was so different, right? Mayor Sheldon wasn't there. He was excused, is all we were told. And I don't know why he's not there. Maybe there's a perfectly fine reason. Maybe there's a perfectly fine reason that the TDC didn't meet on Tuesday. Who knows? Who knows? But I do know this for sure, that for them to, there's something called a consent agenda, okay, at these meetings. There's a regular agenda where they might discuss buying a piece of property for $1 million, right? And you'll have one councilman say, well, geez, that's a lot of money. How long has it been for sale? What are the alternatives? What is it? What's the property appraiser have it appraised at? Let's take a look at the title, the chain of title. There's a lot of questions, right? When you're spending $1 million of taxpayer money, not for these guys. That was one of several items on the consent agenda where they had I don't know how many, was it about 10 items? And they don't talk about any of them. They just vote on the consent agenda without talking about any of the items. They did. They voted to buy real estate from Gilmore Resorts. Okay, more on that later. And they say they're gonna build a lift station on it. Now they need to fix their lift station problems. They're unbelievable. But anyway, the consent agenda was a disaster. They just put it's not supposed to have items in there that could be controversial, that are a ton of money, that people want to hear a discussion about these things before you go spend $1 million. So I mentioned that tonight. Also, I charged the city with a crime tonight. I told them you flooded low water on purpose. And Vice Mayor McConnell, who was chairing the meeting tonight, he was in charge of the meeting. He had the gavel, and he answered my charge. I'm going to show you all this. Why don't we get right to it? I didn't plan to do this tonight, but these are important things for you to see. Understand, they swindled $21 million, right, from the government, HUD money. And the pretext was low water lake flooded during Hurricane Sally. I contend that they flooded it. They did not clear the low water outfalls. And moreover, I believe there was a stand down order. I think they flooded it on purpose. 5 months after Hurricane Sally, they submitted their, they talked about the grant that they were going to get. And they did get, because low water is flooded. And the only solution is to dig 30 feet trench, a big 30-foot trench next to the city pier, 1,500 feet out, and discharge bacteria-laden water at the end of the city pier. This is what's happening. Just because somebody says, well, I support it because let's get it out deeper, where when the bacteria hits the salt water, it kills it. That's the kill zone. Dead zone. Y'all are so foolish, and you are. Oh, it is unbelievable what you guys have done to low water and continue to do. We're on to you. You've been caught. And I'm going to show you what I said to them tonight in just a moment. It's a hot time in Florida, and my friend Ryan can make sure your air conditioning is running at peak efficiency. He could even install a new one, built to a higher standard, American standard. Find out more at pcairrepair.com. So here's what I told the city council tonight. Remember, Mayor Sheldon wasn't there. There was an empty seat in the middle. Vice Mayor McConnell's running the meeting. Here's what I said. So I told you what the consent agenda is, so you know what I'm talking about there. It's 3 minutes and out, right? And also, I made a mistake when I said that the meeting minutes have not been approved or posted. And it's been like 2.5 months, but I said the wrong months. I should have said August and September. Instead, I said all of September, all of October. Okay, but they're still 2.5 months behind. They're supposed to approve the previous meeting minutes the next time they meet. They always have. But now, the last couple months of meeting minutes are not for anybody to see. They're revising them or something, reviewing them. So that's what I'm talking about before I get to the important stuff. Here it is from tonight.
Hello, I'm Bernie Thompson. Y'all are going to vote on the consent agenda in a moment, and it's like $2 million. There's a lot of things on there that we would like to hear about, like the purchase of $1 million for real estate and so on and so forth. It's wrong to put that much stuff on the consent agenda. Number two, I'd like to know why the meeting minutes are missing in all of September and all of October. Why are you so behind on the meeting minutes? Also, I want to remind you of this.
Had record rainfall in a shorter period of time. We had the outfall that was blocked so that the sand was packed in at high tide, so we weren't able to drain out properly.
So that was Vice Mayor McConnell speaking to WJHG in February. Why was the outfall blocked, Jeff?
I'll answer at the end.
Okay. Low water flooded 5 months ago, or 5 months prior to you making those comments, rather. For the first time, when a severe storm approached, Hurricane Sally, you guys didn't clear the outfall. You always clear the outfall. And there was a stand-down order. I'd like to know who gave the stand-down order. Either you were incredibly neglectful to not clear the outfall, or worse. So I believe that the city flooded low water as a pretext for you to swindle $21 million of HUD money for your coveted underground stormwater project, the pipeline, where you're going to discharge bacteria-laden water at the end of the city pier. But grant was ill-gotten gains because you duped the state on the grant application. You told the state that 26 homes were flooded in low water. You said that you evacuated people from low water because it was clogged. Why was it clogged? Because you flooded it. That's why. And every one of you know it. That's a serious crime for which you'll account to soon as the FBI continues its investigation. Now let's talk about the Tourist Development Council. This is the Mayor's slush fund, as you know. Since 2015, and you both are on the Tourist Development Council, so I'll look your way. I believe he has been awarded about $10 million to his private companies to present Gulf Coast Jam and Sand Jam. Our mayor is also the concert promoter. Now that's $10 million that the TDC could spend on beach renourishment and beach maintenance. The TDC can spend money on advertising for tourism or to maintain the beach. So you do not need $21 million in grant money. You don't need to raise taxes. You simply need to stop paying the mayor $10 million and redirect that money to maintain the beach.
Thank you, sir.
Have you received a speeding ticket for which you want no points placed onto your driving record? I'm El Saulene, 850-215-0628. Let me help you.
That's quite a charge I made, isn't it? So you want to see what Vice Mayor McConnell said? What was his answer? Now, remember, okay, the background to this. Jeff McConnell, he represents low water. He represents that area. And tonight, Mayor Sheldon wasn't there, so he was running the meeting. They got $21 million in HUD money earlier this year. And in the grant application, their main reason, I don't know why my mouth is not matching the words. I know that's annoying. So I'm going to wrap it up quickly. I'm going to show you the Vice Mayor McConnell's answer. All right. And then I'm going to hop out of here and I'll fill you in when everything's working better. I didn't plan to even do this at all tonight, but it was too important. Here is what Councilman McConnell said. Why was the outfall blocked, Jeff? Well, now he says, oh, we did clear it. Now he says they did clear it. He's on record saying they cleared it before the storm. He's on record saying that, isn't he? If they didn't, somebody is up the creek without a paddle.
Just want to reply to the low water outfall accusation that was brought up here. I'm sorry that Mr. Thompson did not stay to hear my response. The low water outfall was cleared prior to that storm. However, because of high tide and storm surge, we had that sand packed back up in there. At that point, it was far too dangerous for heavy equipment operators to get in there to try to clear that. And we also had record rainfall, if you remember, in a short period of time. So we kind of had the perfect storm in that time period where all three things combined to lead to this flooding. So there was no conspiracy. It was just a confluence of many different natural factors. It's tragic that it happened in that community. Hate that it happened. I wish we could do more for them, and I think this outfall project would actually help them much more to have that not happen again.
Were you lying then? Are you lying now? Or are you not, in fact, a chronic and habitual liar?
Who believes Councilman McConnell? Do you think Vice Mayor McConnell believes himself? I want to watch that one more time. You know, I cut out of there as soon as I can. And I watch the rest of it. And I create these so I can report it to you. But they always try to act like it's something wrong. I mean, he's not here. No, I'm not there. But I'm watching.
You want to look good? You want to feel good? Little John's Big and Tall is where it's at. Right across the street from Sky's Pizza Pie, 5700 North Davis Highway. You can find out more online at littlejohnsbigandtall.com. He's also a member of the iTex trading community, where your iTex dollars are welcome.
I'm always watching. So sometimes I can watch better. I have a better vantage point when I'm not there. But I want you to watch this one more time. And tell me, does he look like he's telling the truth?
Just want to reply to the low water outfall accusation that was brought up here. I'm sorry that Mr. Thompson did not stay to hear my response. The low water outfall was cleared prior to that storm. However, because of high tide and storm surge, we had that sand packed back up in there. At that point, it was far too dangerous for heavy equipment operators to get in there to try to clear that. And we also had record rainfall, if you remember, in a short period of time. So we kind of had the perfect storm in that time period where all three things combined to lead to this flooding. So there was no conspiracy. It was just a confluence of many different natural factors. It's tragic that it happened in that community. Hate that it happened. I wish we could do more for them, and I think this outfall project would actually help them much more to have that not happen again.
We don't believe you. We don't believe you. And if you don't know, they are all under FBI investigation. Last year, August 27, the city was hit with a sweeping federal subpoena. Jeff McConnell had his phone searched by the FBI. All of them did. Every member of the council since January of 2016. What was on Jeff McConnell's phone? He still won't show me. He still won't tell me. Yeah, I got to follow up on that public record request, by the way. I wonder what was on Phil Chester's phone. I wonder what was on Mario Gisbert's phone. I have a feeling we're eventually going to find out. And tonight, Vice Mayor McConnell went on record saying they did indeed clear the outfall. It just was a confluence. That was his word tonight, by the way. He always picks one big word. Anyway, confluence. It was a confluence of many things. It was very natural what happened. Well, then why is your voice shaking, Jeff? We don't believe you. This is all going to catch up to you guys. I think. I hope. Because the biggest part of this, actually, can you imagine if the boat captain came up there today? He's and I don't say that. His name is Bob Zales, and he called me a clown and everything when he was up there. He's the president of the Boatmen Association, the big guns that Mayor Sheldon cited for the endorsement of the underground outfall. But I don't call him names. In fact, I used to have him on my show, and I have respect for him and others that are doing what they do, and even others who have a different opinion. What I don't have respect for is those who are lying to you, and to the government, duping the HUD agents to swindle $21 million. The story gets bigger and bigger. But here's the thing, the most important thing, because Captain Bob Zales went up there tonight and he said, look, the white sand has these outfalls of brown tannin water. It makes the beach look bad, and it'd be better to put it underground and send it out further. I understand the argument, and if that's what he believes, I respect that. But see, here's the thing, Captain Zales and everybody else. Do you know that the TDC could fix that? They don't need to give you a bigger stormwater tax, an assessment. They don't need to do that. The Tourist Development Council, by statute, can spend money one of four ways. One way is to advertise to bring in more tourism, all right? And that's what they say they do by giving Mayor Mark Sheldon about $1.5 million every year to sponsor and market Gulf Coast Jam and Sand Jam. He owns those music festivals. This was a Kickstarter fee. This is the longest Kickstart I've ever seen for a company. He's like the Solyndra of music festivals by this time. Our mayor is also the concert promoter whose private business gets, I think, nearly $1.5 million a year, certainly more than $1 million. So here's the thing. Another way that the TDC can spend that money, the 5-cent bed tax on people who come in short-term rentals. Another way they can spend it, are you ready for this? They've got a $16 million budget. Another way they can spend it, they're allowed by law, is to maintain the beach maintenance and beach renourishment. So the TDC has the ability to take all that money and spend some of it by maintaining the beach and fixing the part that Captain Zales is upset about. Captain Zales, don't you see? They don't need to raise everybody's stormwater assessment. They don't need to swindle $21 million in HUD money by flooding low water. They don't need to do that. They already have the money, but instead they give the money to the mayor for his private companies so that he can give it to news outlets, so that news outlets and he are public-private partners, so the news outlets no longer report the news. That's not right, and you know that's not right. This is what's happening. It's demonstrable. You can see it. You just have to look a little bit. I don't believe you, Bernie. Well, it's like saying, I don't believe if I drop an apple, it's going to fall, right? If I told you I've got an apple in my hand and I'm going to drop it and it's going to go up, though. It's not going to go down. It's going to go up. What would you say to me? Would you say, Bernie, I've never seen it happen, Don't think it's going to go up. And I let go of it. Where's it go? It goes down. That's like this, right? It's demonstrable. There's the record of all this stuff. This is happening. And the TDC chooses to use that money as a slush fund for Mark Sheldon, money mover himself, the guy who's affiliated with like 24 LLCs. Selling a lot of products, maybe. But But they don't maintain the beach. They don't do beach maintenance. They could have fixed that outfall project in low water for a hell of a lot less than $21 million of HUD money. You know I'm telling the truth. Do I seem more convicted than Vice Mayor McConnell, who looks like they're telling you the truth? The news outlets ought to be ashamed of themselves. The young girls over there, they don't know. They don't know. But Tom Lewis knows. Brady Calhoun knows. The news directors know. Kaz knows. These people know. And they're lying to you. But they're not going to win. They're not going to win. The truth will have its day on this. I'll be right back. If you've got a honey-do list or you need some work done around the home or office, call Paul, PCB. He's licensed, insured, and he's a friend of mine. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. I didn't plan to do this at all. If you support what I'm doing, here's how you can actually support what I'm doing. I'm independent. I rely on sponsorships. I rely on group funding, and this is one way. It's like giving a tip every month. If you would like to become a patron, it's easy. It's anonymous, and you can quit at any time. It's patreon.com/Bernie Thompson, and it sure helps keep the lights on and keeps me going. Also, if you haven't done it yet and you want to make an old man happy, you could subscribe. I got to get home. You could subscribe to the YouTube channel. I don't have very many. I haven't really focused on YouTube, but I need to. And it sure would make me happy if you subscribed and hit the bell so that you can follow. It actually looks better on YouTube at the Bernie Thompson Show. All right. Enough of all that, I suppose. Let's get out of here, and I will see you soon.